Hi everybody, welcome to a program of Yeshiva Classroom, and we have a lot to talk about today. A lot of new projects are going to in effect, and but above all, we have to teach and we have to bring out the word of Torah, and we're going to start off with the beginning of the Bible, the Jewish Bible. Gentiles this our Bible also. I don't think they understand the meaning of the words, because it cannot be taken literally. The Talmud is a book that supplements and complements all the words of the Bible, of the written Bible that was dictated to Moses by God Almighty. And all of this is done before the entire populace of the Jewish people who stood during those 40 years with Moses and learned the Torah that was given, divinely given. That was the only book that was divinely given by the God of the Jewish people, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and that's the God whom we pray to every day. Now, let's start off with the book of Genesis, which starts off the creation of the world. Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et ha'aretz. God, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And on the first day, God said, let there be light, yehi or, vayehi or, and there was light. Again, the first day, let there be light, and there was light. Now, what is this light that the Bible brings down? What is it talking about? How did it get there? It was by the Word of God. And basically, the energy particles came down and was brought down by God to form a light. And the light was on a stationary plane, and the earth was revolving around this center light that shone. And that was all that was created on the first day. And the word preceding the creation is yehi, let there be. At the command of God, the energy particles came down and formed a light. Now, bear in mind that the light that we know was brought down on the fourth day with all the luminaries in the heavens. But back to the first day. Now, others want to say that everything was created on the first day, and at subsequent days, different creations were brought forth. But on the first day, it says, yehi ara, let there be light, and there was light. And we have these energy particles that are coming down to form a light at God's command. Now, what does it mean, energy particles? You know, when a piece of matter is imploded and you have nothingness there except for energy particles, particles of energy. And if you can stop the particles of energy, you have nothingness. Theoretically, if you stop the energy particles that are in motion, you have nothing. And going backward, by exchanging these energy particles, we form matter. So matter and the energy particles are basically interchangeable. And that's what happened. The energy particles came down from above, and they formed a light. That was the first day, and it's actually the second creation, because the creation of the world was created with 10 emanations, with 10 sayings. They all preceded the creation with the word Yehi, let there be. And those are important words that were uttered by God, and they resonate with us. Actually, there were 9 emanations which was preceded by the word Yehi, and the 10th one was the actual Bereshit. In the beginning, God created. There was no Yehi in front of that, but that was the first creation, that God created the heavens and the earth. That is brought down firstly, and afterwards all the other days of the 6 days of creation were brought down, as we read in the book of Genesis. And at the end of the 7th day of creation, it says that it was a day of one. Not first day, not the 2nd day, but the word in Hebrew is echad, in the day of one. So that means that there was credence to the fact that the word should have been rishon, first, but instead it is used. The word is echad, one, day one, not first day, but day one, which means that only God was the one that was present. The day of one. There was no man, there was nothing but the light. And that is what we learn out, that there was only God on that first day. And He created light, and that light was taken away after the 4th day when the luminaries were brought down, so that we only have that light of the first day only shining for 3 days, right? Because on the 4th day it was taken away, and it was preserved for the righteous in the next world. And we believe that that is a paramount belief of Jews, that there is a next world, and all the Jewish people and the righteous people of all nations receive the next world. And there are many examples of proofs showing that there is another world. And just to, off the top of my head, it said when God blessed Reuven, it said, Yehi Reuven, let Reuven not die, but he should live. Let Reuven not die, but he should live. Let Reuven, who was the firstborn of Jacob, and it says, let Reuven not die, but he should live. Meaning that there is a next world. In other words, that he should not die, of course means he should live. But that he should live is added to that phrase to tell us that there is a next world also, that he will live in this world, and also that he should continue to live in the next world. And just to get a little tangential with the Tanakh, you know, there are 24 written books of the Bible, 24 written books of the Bible, right? And one of them is Kings, right? The book of Kings, where the advisor to David HaMelech, was a Dog, and because he was instrumental in bringing a bad report about the people of the city of Nov, the Kohanim, the priests that lived there. It was destroyed by Shaul, and because of that, Dog does not receive the next world. Okay, so much for Tanakh, but we want to jump in here right away and tell you about our book. Not only do we come in speaking form, those people that don't like to read or want to see something on the TV, we try to give out Torah to those that are listening and watching. And also, we have come out with a book, Judaism Makes Sense. Judaism Makes Sense, and it can be bought online through Amazon. And we urge everyone to purchase that book, Judaism Makes Sense, Amazon, by Glick. And we ask for a number of reasons. One being that it's something that people can take with them to work. It's basic ideology, and for the layman, he can understand a lot of the concepts that Judaism brings forth, and it also has a source from where it was learned out from. In other words, if we say something, a halacha or a law or something we do, we quote the source, the biblical source, so you can look it up. Those that want to spend more time in learning about from whence the subject came from, we give you the quotes in the book. So there are over 39 chapters in the book, over 40 chapters, and they are very interesting. Chapter 1, belief in the Jewish God. Chapter 18, Gentile responsibilities. Chapter 26, avoiding hell. Chapter 29, coming of the real Mashiach, Messiah. So all these beautiful short chapters are interesting, and we urge, especially if you don't want something like that, we urge you to purchase it online through Amazon and to give it to a friend. But we were going to take note of after the program what kind of upsurge we did in promoting the sale of this book by contacting Amazon. So we hope that as a favor for us to carry on our work, those people have watched us for over 10 years. We hope you to purchase Judaism Makes Sense. Judaism Makes Sense by Glick on Amazon. Judaism Makes Sense. So don't procrastinate and try to order that. We consider it a favor to help us and to help all of us spread the important message that the Torah, the Bible, has given to mankind. So we spoke about Genesis and the creation of the world, and that is an interesting book in itself. Chapter 1 goes through all the creations, and that the first thing is let there be a light, and there was light, and that is such an important concept that in the daily prayer, in the morning daily prayer, it's the longest blessing that we say, and that being the blessing over light, because after all, it's a reflection of the object to our eyes, which is such an important concept, and is so important that we make this show our gratitude to God by this being the longest blessing in the Bible, in our daily prayer service, right? The second day there was a firmament. In Hebrew it's rokia. Not too many to explain this go into detail, but basically what happened is a firmament. And that's the only thing that was created on the second day. Let there be a firmament between the heavens above and between the heavens below. And what happened? There was a covering of water, a mantle of water over the earth, and God caused the atmosphere to divide between the heavens above, the water above and the water below. So you have a heaven that is separating the waters, and then the waters below, through gravity, fell, and you had the heavens, the atmosphere in which man lives. The birds fly in the heavens. So that was created on the second day, right? Yehi Rokia, let there be a firmament, a heavens. And now that we have the heavens below, the living area where man, living things can live, the heavens above and outer space were created by evaporation of the water, forming clouds, and so on and so forth, where the word heavens is used also both for the atmosphere in which man lives, and the word heavens is used for the stratosphere and above, there where the planets and infinity reaches out. So when we say in the second day, a very important concept that many people do not grasp, that firmament separating between the waters, because the waters below became the heavens, right? Through gravity, the waters fell down, and the heavens above became the stratosphere, but both are called heavens. Both are called heavens. And that's the second day. First day, let there be light, right? And that was a stationary light, and we know there was a revolution around this light, because Vayhi Erev, there was evening, Vayhi Boker, and there was morning, day one. Vayhi Erev, Vayhi Boker, Yom Sheni, second day. So that was all that was created, the heavens, which was a very important a part of our existence. So the first day is light, second day is heavens, right? And that was the Rokia, the heavens are separated from the water below and the waters from up above. That was the second day. And on the third day, it said, let the waters be gathered and let the dry land appear. Now, what does that mean? That means that there was a ditch dug around the topography of all the continents, a big ditch. So the water ran off the land, and you have the formation and the outline of the entire landmass of the world on the planet Earth, and you have the continents, and every continent could support life. So on the third day, so let the waters be gathered and let the dry land appear. Let the waters be gathered and let the dry land appear. Right? Let the waters be gathered and let the dry land appear. And on that day, the shape of the planets and the irregularities of the shoreline became apparent, and thereby enabling man to live on land, because he can't exist on water, in water, like the fish, which were the fish and the fowl, which were created on the 5th day, right? But that was the 3rd day again. The 1st day, let there be a light, right? 2nd day, let there be firmament, heavens. 3rd day, let the waters be gathered and let the dry land appear, so that man could eat from the plants and animal life that grew and lived on the planet Earth and that particular continent. On the 4th day, the luminaries were created, the sun, the moon, the stars, to give light and to use for a calendar, for important events, for the configuration and the Sabbath, the calendar, and all the holidays. So that was the 4th day with the luminaries. 5th day was the fowl and the fish that lived on the land and in the seas. And the 6th day was the animals and man. And on the 7th day, God rested, so to speak. It was a model for man. He didn't need to rest. God doesn't need to rest, but it was a model for man. Vayinofash, Shavas Vayinofash, and he was refreshed. He ceased. Shavas, he ceased from creating. He threw the switch, and everything went around. God created. Vayachalo b'yom hashvi kol malachta asher barakim la'asos. So there were 2 verbs at the end, right? Created to do. He created to do. And on the end of the 6th day, the switch was thrown like an electric train. The train kept on going around and around, and when it hit certain switches, certain things would be produced. And that's how God created the world. Everything was created, all the systems, everything was dovetailed into one another, the rain cycle, the life and death cycle, and the like the train set kept on moving around and around, and that's how man lives. God gave man the ability to exist, to subsist in this life. And then the 2nd sentence in the Torah says that the Ruach Elokim merachefet al pnei hamayim, that the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the waters. It was looking for someone to come onto the scene. Let me interrupt for a second and tell the latecomers that we now have a book online by Amazon. You can get it on Amazon, and we hope that you will get it. Perhaps spend a little time, support this station at the same time. You can buy it at Amazon. It's Judaism Makes Sense by Glick, right? Judaism Makes Sense. And you can buy it on Amazon and you read it slowly. It gives you source material. You support us and the work we're doing over here, bringing you these programs, and doing many other outreach types of work, including in the near future a website with Jewish first-hand experience. There'll be a website where you can call in or you can read all the first-hand accounts of Jews of their experiencing Shabbos. So that's a little bit later down the line. But right now, we have people that can tune into the program. We have people that if they can buy the book, Judaism Makes Sense, on Amazon, right? By Glick, because there's similar titles on Amazon. Judaism Makes Sense. Okay, back to the teaching, to the lesson. We finished the first day, right? God ceased and was refreshed. That was the end of creation. And God had the seventh day of rest. And what did we have over there? Vayishbaz, Shovas Vayishbaz, and he ceased and he rest. And those words are used when we speak about the slave, the servant that sold themselves out after committing a crime or for poverty reasons. That it says that on the Sabbath that you and your servant vayishbos, they should cease, shavas vayishbos, the same words, they should cease and be refreshed. Okay, so now we come into the fact that the world was going down, and the Torah, aka Jewish Bible, brings out the fact that that mankind was forgetting the teachings of Adam, and they were regressing. Seth, the third son, even started in that generation worshiping the servants of God, the stars and the moon, and forgot about God Almighty. And mankind regressed terribly. There was violence and gezel and robbery and the immorality and sexual immoral practices where the judges and rulers took women at their whim and just used them and continued in that same vein. And it seems that it may be reminiscent of something that we're coming about in the current events. Current events are important. But only the most righteous person was saved. God said, I won't destroy the world anymore through water, and he made a pact with Noah, and before that, God brings down that Lemach. There are two Lemach from Cain and Lemach from Seth. Lemach from Seth produced Noah, and he survived the flood, while the Lemach from Cain, right, Cain and Abel, right, the genealogy through Lemach, the Torah notes that he had two wives, Ada and Zillah, and he had 3 children by these women, and they were Yabal, Yubal, and Tubal-Cain. Yabal was a sheep herder and a tent maker. And this is the start of business. We learn out that through the tent he could portable move from different locations because he had a tent in which he could set up and rest until he went to the next location and traded there. That was Yabal. Yubal was the person who invented the musical instruments and basically entertainment, taking away precious time for a man to be entertained. That was Yubal. And Tubal-Cain was the inventor of forged metals and produced the metals that were used eventually to kill people. So these 3 people, were not allowed in the ark, and they were destroyed. So there's a lesson we might learn from that also. Noah was the righteous one. He was not Jewish, right? And he had 7 laws of commandments that Gentiles are to follow, as well as Jews, because they are included in the 613 commandments that we Jews are expected to follow, although we don't live in Israel, we can't do many, we don't have the temples, there's many we cannot do over in that regard. But basically, Noah was the most righteous man, and God saved the most righteous person, and works around him. And the earth was broken, was destroyed. The planet Earth was destroyed by the flood. And it says in chapter 7, verse